Welcome back to Hydroneer. Dawn on a new day in our wonderful little digging game, and I thought I'd show you the world map because you can see right there our blue dot, a blue sort of diamond symbol, or the ember cradle. I went to head down to Bridgeport, so over the river to the east, and then down south a little bit, and then went and bought a whole bunch of stuff, little bits and pieces. Not enough for a hugely automatable setup, but enough to get us started at least, and just to show you a few pieces of that. So what we've got here is, first of all, a shut-off valve, stops the water from pouring out continually, and then we've got filters. Now each one of these filters, it says at the bottom left, it filters water by 20% and decreases water pressure by 2%. So I would assume that if we have 5 of them, that will filter all the water. We need we need filtered water. Otherwise the machines will get damaged, so that's one thing. And of course that 5 of them will also mean this will get filtered by, well, it'll get the water pressure will get depleted by 10%. So whatever we started with, we have a lot less. Okay, so along that we then have the rest of the pipe, and then we have these pressure tanks. You can buy them in Bridgeport. 2 of them I've got bars for, and whoop, helps if I put them in the right place first of all, and rotate you. There we go. So if I just unload that, I can pick up one of these bars. I can put it in the little sort of doorway and close it, and that should be everything it needs as far as I know. But yeah, so these basically improve the pressure of the water, and it's after everything's been filtered. Now, to get a little bit further, and you can see I've done a little bit of activity here. This is coming from the topsoil, remember, so it's still the terrible stuff, but automatic, meaning I don't have to shovel that stuff in. First of all, you're going to need to have 2 outlets for your water at least to get started. And you can see I've got some really weird, rough sort of soil placing here. Let me just grab some of that and maybe put some more down a little bit nicer. Flatten it out a little bit, something like that. Okay, so the important point is you need to have a little bit of soil underneath the first thing, which is the ram drill. As you can see, there's a wooden log doing the ramming, and if we just click to place it down, we're going to want to have it so that it's connected like that. It has a connection point, and then over here there is an on-off switch, which you can choose. Now, this is the on position. It's not going to do anything right now because obviously the shut-off switch is for the water, and everything is water-powered, including your little truck. So if you want to fill this back up, you're going to have to create a sort of water outlet to fill it up so that it can continue to be fueled. You'll see right down there, it's below half, so I've been moving around with all of this stuff. So then we got a ram drill, that's fine, and then connected to that, from the other point here, we're going to want to have a harvester. Now this thing is going to take the earth that gets produced by the sort of like the same as your shovel output, if you like, from the ram drill, and this thing is going to take that and then turn it into resources, just like you would do with the pan. Well, we're going to do the same thing with the harvester. The downside is it needs to be a little bit further down into the ground. This output needs to go into this input. There we go. And it's connected to the rest of the water network, and I've got a cork in the end here. You can put another one of those valves, I just didn't have one on the end to have it controllable. But that should be everything we need to get started. So to get things started up, we are going to just turn this. Okay, you can see it immediately starts outputting stuff into the top of the harvester. And the harvester is going to output stuff here. Good, all good. Now, the important point is that, yeah, if this isn't working, if it does not work, you just try and feed some more dirt underneath. It needs to have dirt underneath otherwise. The wiki does say that if you're having trouble, put down one of the wooden blocks that we have, and then put 1 shovelful of dirt on top of the block, and then put the drill on top of that, so that it can see some soil. And off it goes, and it's going to continually producing resources for us. Now that's not good, because hey, this isn't sorted, so that's the next step. Let me turn this off. Otherwise, in fact, let me just turn it off at the shut-off valve, so it's a little bit quieter. So we need to then sort this, and we need to basically sort that from the output here So I may have to dig away some of the soil to get that going a little bit and send it in other directions. So what can we do from here? We've got some more blocks that we can use. One is a nice conveyor belt, Factorio style or Satisfactory style, whatever you want to call it. A couple of these filters, sort of conveyor splitters, but they have filters included. You're going to need quite a few. Well, you're going to need another couple at least of these. There's 5 settings, so I think you can maybe get away with 4, because if you do 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it has like a secondary output, I think. Do you? Because it's a splitter, so yeah, it does. It has a secondary output. So anything left at the end of the chain, i.e. the 5th one, should just pop at the end. So you're going to need at least 4 of those. I've only got 2 because I ran out of money. Let's be honest. And then I've got a couple more conveyors here. The regular kind, this kind, is fine. There's also this kind here that's called a centralizer. Moves to move resources around a base, pushes objects to the center of the belt. Higher water pressure improves speed. So yeah, you don't want the stuff falling off the belt, and you can grab these little fence kind of upgrades to stop that from happening. But in the meantime, you also have this centralizer. So what we're probably going to want to do, realistically, is to have this feeding out from here. Can I rotate you? Yeah, something like that. And we're going to have that feeding into our filters and then outwards otherwise. Now, we can go a little bit further than that. Yeah, drop that. There are other conveyors that can lift the output up to another level, and I think that's what I want to do. I want to get things back above the ground rather than dig stuff out. Now, you can continue just grabbing stuff like this and just put them into, you know, your usual pans and this, well, into the crucibles downstairs. Don't want to do that. I would like that to be automatic. So I'm going to do a bit of rearranging here, get a way to get this back up out of the ground if I can, and then from there we will we'll see where we get to. Okay, I've got a little bit further on, and I think that there's only one obvious way of actually routing stuff around, mainly because the conveyor belts only have inputs on certain sides. Let me just show you that in a second. I'm just corking up all the extra sort of water routes that we can get out there. So over here, I've rearranged the harvester. Basically, its input for the water, you can see it's down there to the left. If I move that to where I had it before, this whole thing sort of interferes with how I could get the conveyor belts running. For example, the output will be facing me. And if the output is facing me and I want a conveyor belt to run, I've got to be a bit careful about where to route the pipe, because the pipe, if I face a conveyor belt pulling towards me, will need water coming from where that block is. So I had to rearrange that a little bit, and let's see where this actually works. So now the water pipe for the input for the harvester goes underneath this. So it still works, or should work. It looks a little bit more streamlined, and we can replace the earth here later. This is just another bit of water pipe coming off. That feeds the start of our conveyors, which runs up through here and into these, which are our 2 sorters. We need more than this, but it should get us started to at least begin with. These crucibles and stuff like that are sort of annoying to try and position correctly. Annoyingly, yes, very much so. There we go, something like that. And then behind the scenes, we want to basically control what we want here. So let's just go for gold first. And then I want to go for iron. Those are the 2 most common ones. And you see we've got gems, we've got shards, and this is the cloutides, something like that. That's the rare stuff. Cloutium, there we go. Okay, so cloutium. And I've also got a light stick over here, which basically lets us see everything. So I will have that running. Well, let's just place it sort of here, should do. And what I want to see is if all of this stuff gets thrown out beyond everything, or it needs like fences to keep it in, or if we're okay without using something like this centralizer. Let's get started. Let me just sleep through the night, and we'll turn this thing on and see if it works. So there we go. And let me just hit the startup valve. Need to turn it on. Okay. That did go onto the conveyor, and it should have been sorted. There's some gold, I think. Maybe? Is it going into here? Doesn't look like it. It looks like it's just dropping somewhere, and that definitely doesn't have any gold in it. Is it coming onto this side somewhere? Definitely going through, so I think I'm going to have to work on that a little bit more. Maybe we need conveyors coming out of these things rather than just dropping off into midair. So I'll need to go and buy a couple more, ideally, and we'll need to get some more resources. So I'll see you in a minute. Okay, this isn't quite so obvious, but... Oh, whoa, didn't want to do that. I did not want to do that. 1 second, let me get this the right way around. There we go. Let me turn it off. There it goes through, and you can see it's getting filtered out of the back. Yep, these things have a direction. They don't go omnidirectional both ways. The only way you can tell is, well, first of all, it goes from left to right when you actually face the panel. So that's something you have to deal with. Let me just turn this off here at the moment, just so the water doesn't get into this, and I need to just pick this up and rotate you around so you're facing me. That does mean I have to remove the crucibles and stuff. That's fine. And in the back... Yep, there we go. So you can see just jump down here. It's just been filtered. Yeah, if you look very, very closely on the output, you can just about see the direction that it will only accept things in. It won't change its direction or have an alternate direction version, I don't think. So that should now work. We've got gold, we've got iron, and I'm just going to turn that valve off while I rearrange the crucibles and everything. But that should start us. That wasn't, again, what I wanted. I always get... don't get mixed up, but I always get sort of annoyed. There's a left click action, and there is a E action. The E picks things up. The left click does something to do with whatever that particular block is. So yeah, that's all fine. I'll move everything around, and then we'll see if we can get some decent output out of these things. And here we go. We've got our whole setup running now, hopefully. Hopefully no leaks. Yep, so stuff is pouring into our crucibles. Iron and gold, and anything left should pour at the end into this pan. I'm going to go and sleep through the night. Let me just get over here while our setup runs. And then we shall see how much gold and iron we get out of it. We've got all of our molds. In fact, let me just move the molds around. We've got some bits and pieces. Yeah, some iron bars there. Let's just move the molds. These crucibles are temporary, and they'll get us going, but later we may want better versions. That's perfectly fine. However, do bear in mind that things like this stuff do break, and you're going to need toolkits to repair it, if I remember rightly. I'm also going to need an extension to this line, perhaps from this block right here, up and over to be able to refill that truck. So that's another thing I need to build in, and everything's good. So yeah, I'm just move these out of the way, and what I'm going to also do is buy some more foundations so that everything is safe for me to walk around on, and hopefully just to keep... Oh, that's an uncut emerald. I didn't really drop into the end too well. Now it's dropping a little bit further away, well, a little bit too close than what I actually want there. So I'll fix it, and we'll come back once we've got a little bit of profit going, now that everything is starting to be automated. So while everything is running, I'm off in my tractor. You can see some pocket change in the back, just so that I can try and buy some more stuff at Bridgeport and show you where it is. Over the bridge and past this little sort of empty village. Not really much I want here. And then down here and first on your right is Bridgeport. So it's not very far at all. You can even run it if you don't want to actually, you know, head out in your tractor. But in this case, I'll probably want to bring stuff back with me. So it'd be nice to have some kind of transport. You can buy more tractors here if you want better versions. I haven't bought one yet, so I don't know what they are good at. If you have a look down that way, down that way is one of the other lots that you can buy. It's over $6,000 though. I was hoping that it would be one or two. It's not. So I have to do some other bits and pieces, I think, to get that going. And let's just get out. Here we go. And let's grab our pocket change. And welcome to Bridgeport. So there is a sort of cosmetics area where you can buy stuff for your house and various bits and pieces like safes and stuff like that, which I am just going to ignore because it's not giving me extra power. I don't really care that much about it. Same thing here, housing. You can buy lots of different tin roofs and walls and all kinds of other stuff. Again, no reason to do that for me, which means the main thing is two shops: tools and equipment and the Conveyor Nation. So Conveyor Nation, if we head in there first, it's the one where we've got all the conveyor splitters, the centralizers, the conveyor barriers to stop things flowing off the end. The right conveyor belt, I think I may actually want one of those. So let me just put this in here. I've got $600 already in here from last trip. Now it's about 2,000. So if I grab a right conveyor belt, that just means I'm not going to run out of room back. Yeah. Sorry. I didn't mean to take that out. I meant to actually buy it first. Also, good use of Wilhelm scream. If you know what it is, Google it. Wilhelm scream. Yes, so one right conveyor belt. And then what I think I want to have a look at is probably the vertical conveyors. Because what I want them to do is feed them into the other shop stuff. So let's go have a look over here. We have these. These are the smelters. They're 1,300, unfortunately. But that means I don't have to keep worrying about the horrible crucibles. These will tip and actually smelt into a mold, I think. So having that available, it might be worthwhile having a quick look at that. I'm buying one, and I don't have any money in here, so I may have to go and, well, move the coinage around. Let's put it that way. And maybe I can buy one more splitter. One more splitter possibly. There we go. So there's one of the better smelters. And maybe we'll use that for gold or something. Gold tends to produce the best sort of result. Is there anything else I can afford? That's going to turn right. I would like another one of these. How much is 325? How much have I got left? 459. Okay, that's good enough. And one of these days when I have enough money so that I don't need to keep moving everything around, that's good. I will take you, please. And to be honest, let's just leave it there because $131 is not going to get us very far at all. So off back to the base we go. Okay, back at our base, and here's why I may want the vertical. You see, this won't actually go here, probably. It may need to go one further down, and that means basically that it may have to go there, which I can't get access to the mold, I don't think. I could dig one further down, or basically put a vertical conveyor coming out and up one. That is probably what I'm going to do longer term, but for right now I just want to test this out. So I just want to be able to see that mold. And we can start up the machine, and there's some more gold ready to make into another ring for lots of selling. And this is something I need to get rid of, so let's get rid of you. Okay, pan full of all kinds of good stuff. And I think I've turned I have turned the water off. Good. So now instead of having it go straight out like this, what I think I'm going to do is turn it 90 degrees. So, because I'm basically running out of room going that way, I'll hit that bank and I end it with more vertical conveyors. It's a bit of a dogleg, but it should actually get us going, which is to use this right conveyor if I've bought the right one. Otherwise, I need to go back and buy a left conveyor. So, let's just see. That would indicate that it's coming out this way and then going that way, I would assume. And that means then I can go and grab my next sorter, which means I can isolate even more stuff away from the spoils bucket of whatever you actually want to call it. So again, remember we have to face it this wrong direction. This direction. Oh, by the way, there is a solution for the what was I going to say? Me picking stuff up accidentally. That's a construction hammer. I just don't have one, and I didn't bother with buying one. Yes, I do know about it. Just in case we get people who are like, yeah, you know, you don't need to do that, right? So we got a choice here of what we actually want to filter out at this point. Cloutium, we've already got those two, gems and shards. I think it's probably best I'm going to take care of shards. That's the next most common thing that comes out. Then we've got gems and cloutium. I think this is the rarest. So having that run is fine. And then we can just put in our cork like that. And that should cover oh no, I need another cork. That's a shame. That is a shame, because did I not take all of my money with me? I think I did. Oh well, I've got some gold. I can go and sell that. That's fine. I'll go and set this up. We'll put it exactly the same way, and we can reuse now this old sort of crucible setup, wherever I've put the crucibles and stuff like that, until we get upgraded to the next sort of tipping crucibles. Okay, onward. Okay, I've been running for a few minutes now, and if I turn the water back on, you should see there's a bit of a problem there. So it looks like we're going to need a repair kit maybe, or multiple. So let's go and see what they cost us. And I've got everything else running around here. I just have to make sure well, those aren't quite running, are they? They're falling through. So yeah, maybe I'll have to just block that up and make sure that doesn't fall through in future versions. But other than that, everything is mostly going okay. And I hope you're following along. Hopefully yours is going okay too, your whole setup. All right, so where was I? Yes, I've got one more thing to sell. That's some gold, I think. In fact, it tells you on the tooltip, but yeah, it's gold. Helps if I... it doesn't quite kind of annoy me. Can I actually click on that? No, I have to drop it exactly in the right place. That does sort of annoy me somewhat, I must admit. There we go. And let's go and sell this. It shouldn't be actually worth that much, but at least gets us on the go. I've got about 1,700 in the truck, so let's see what that actually buys us back at the town. And the sword I just made just before this actually sold for 1,000. So yeah, I had quite a lot of iron. Oh, there we go. There's another 1,000. We can go and check just to make sure it doesn't sell for more on the nearby stock market. I'm not going to troll all the way over the map, but yeah, it looks like it does sell for more. 1,132. Yep. Definitely want to take another one of those. So off to the town we go. And here we go, that's what we're looking for. Tool bags, repairs, damage, ram drills, harvesters, Goliaths, and filters to full health. Multiple uses. Well, it doesn't say how many. Oh, really should actually buy stuff before walking out of the shop. I don't know how many uses multiple implies, so I'm going to buy a couple of those. It's 440, so we'll just dump those in the back of the in the back of the truck. And you. Okay, and of course that should leave me with enough money. How much I got? 2,300. Oh yes, we're gonna have another one of these smelters. Yeah, we're definitely gonna have another one of those smelters. We got another enough for some more. We got enough for 1,000. So bits and pieces. Is there anything I want? I would like this compressor to compress gems to make larger gems, and that will presumably let me make even larger amounts of money from stuff. Funnels, that's one way of getting stuff. If we raise stuff up with a vertical conveyor, we can use a funnel to drop stuff down into like a pan or something. But since we're about to get that sorted pretty much soon, then I don't really need that just yet. So that can go in. Oh, there we go. And how much for a final sorter? Is the sorter in here, or is it in the other one? I think it's in the other one. You're 325. So splitter, sorter, same kind of thing. There we go. So I should be able to afford another one of you. I should gather everything else, and then the last thing is probably another conveyor belt. And I think we should be sorted there. Is there anything else that I really want? I don't need a centralizer as such. I could do with more vertical conveyors potentially in the future, but I'll go and make those up later. For now, we're just going to buy this stuff, put it on the truck, and add it to our setup. And I figured out what was happening back here. There's a problem with the conveyor belts. They're not great. So when it comes out of here, sometimes it hits that corner immediately and tries to fling the stuff out. You see right here, I just pick this stuff up, it will just work fine, but then some of it gets stuck. So I'm going to have to rework this at some point, annoyingly. And otherwise, it's just going to fill up in that particular one little crevice with lots of stuff. And yeah, that's not good. So all of the gems just keep pouring out of here. It's so annoying. Alright, so I'm going to have to fix that anyway. But just to give you an idea, you might not want to go for the right angle stuff. Just to give you a bit of a warning. And or at least make sure you don't put it right next to a machine. Otherwise, everything is now working. We've got a couple of crucibles. These are producing basically as much as iron and gold as I want. And we can pretty much start to stack up the gold now. Remember, we need like 6,000 to get that new sort of new lot to actually start excavating. Remember also that this ram drill is only the first type of drill. There's a second one called the Goliath, which pulls stuff from much further down rather than just this thing that actually operates on the top. So yeah, that will produce you more goods, obviously, and yeah, now I need to clean up again. Ugh. So to see if we can fix that just by condensing everything. I don't have any conveyors at all between them. I can even remove that one a little bit later. Let's just turn this back on and see whether everything actually works. I need to just turn on the machine as well over here. Right there. Okay. And do you now still work? Well, we'll see once we actually get something beyond iron. Like any sort of shard would be nice. Yeah, that works fine, so no problems there. And everything's still working as expected. So I now need a couple more of those crucibles and perhaps condense this into just a block of 4. And then at the end, we're probably going to need a compressor at some point. This is now collecting lots of uncut gems, so I probably want to condense them all. I'm not sure if we can actually sort. There is no sorter splitter for different types of gems, which is kind of annoying. I'm hoping that the compressor will work on all of them at once instead of just losing a third of them, but or 2/3 of them if it picks one. And I'm going to just throw this right conveyor belt away. I don't want stuff falling off like that. And hopefully now everything works. So yeah, collecting more money. I couldn't help it. I went and bought the compressor. Unfortunately, its water input is in the back. So if I put this on the end of a conveyor like this, the stuff won't feed into it. It gets blocked by this the sort of main Z-axis of the thing. So that's somewhat annoying, to be honest. It does mean that I would have to do something a little weird to get water to it. If I want stuff to automatically pour into it anyway, which is what I would kind of assumed would be the case. So yeah, There's thoughts? Am I missing something here? It seems very odd otherwise. So I'm going to find somewhere that actually has water that I can use as an output. A lot of it is gone. So I can just turn off the machine and then everything should be okay. I can turn it off over here and, well, figure out a way to use this. Okay, so I connected the compressor over here. And I'm not sure this is going to let me tip stuff into it accurately. Not as accurately as I would like with a conveyor belt, but okay. And if I pull the handle, does it actually help? Okay, those are bigger than I was expecting. A composite sapphire. Can be crafted into a ring or necklace or sold to the jeweler. Okay, so let's try crafting that, shall we? I just need to wait till I get some... a larger amount of gold, basically. Well, we can try and craft Cloutium, I suppose. I've not tried that into a ring. Is there anything else that lets me... No. Maybe this won't actually work because it may need gold. But let's give it a try. So let's just put you on there. And grab you. Put you on there as well. See, that's a problem. I'm just saying, how am I supposed to keep that onto there? I mean, I can hold down E and try and place it very carefully, but it still rolls off. Not so happy with the positioning of this whole thing, unless it can go nearby and still work. No, that's not accepting it. Fine, I will see what I can do as far as this is concerned. I may need to jam this or put a funnel above or something. And with a bit more profit comes an ultra compact setup where we've just got our 4 sorters going into splitters, I should say, going into our various furnaces. And that should do it. However, I did want to just try something out. I did go and buy the bigger drill. Yep, this is the ram drill. And, sorry, the Goliath drill. My mistake. And it should hopefully have the same inputs as the other one. You can see it's right here. Looks like it has the same input. So I'm going to give it a try. And let's see what actually starts producing any more for it. Well, larger stuff for us. So let's get that in place. And the handle can go up, and then that should be everything there. It should extend downwards. Of course, there is a void underneath it, so I've got to worry there. And there's no soil really that then this thing can dig into potentially. So I have to check it out and see what happens. Is it going to produce anything? Doesn't look like it yet. We'll see. I'll give it a minute or two. And while it did work, it did remove the soil underneath it, which the small one doesn't do. So I'm going to leave it with the small one for now. We'll come back to the Goliath drills later. However, this doesn't work either when you compact it. If you put these next to each other, it throws the ores not straight down. It throws them out into the side a little bit, into the next sort of, or between the two. That's not good. It just piles up below them. So I've raised everything up by one, put another vertical conveyor in, and now everything is seemingly working. Have a look there. Hopefully everything should just start popping out and dropping into the relevant cauldron, crucible, whatever you want to call it. Looks like it's working, and everything's good. So at the end, we've still got our sort of bucket of uncut gems. So I've got a whole pile of stuff that is no longer useful whatsoever. I need to research some ram drills, but hopefully you've enjoyed today's episode. We've got basically repairing done of our various different infrastructure. I'm going to put some foundations down so I don't keep falling through the floor that I dug up. And we've got a refill station and a compressor for all of our gems, and now pretty much the money should just flow in. At which point, once you get above 6,000, which when I make a particular kind of ring, just with pretty much a lot of gold in it, that's the main thing, I get 2,000 per ring. So 3 of those will get us the largest land plot that's available, and maybe we can take a look at what we do with the ram drills, or Goliath drills. I have to get them the right way around. Yes, so for now, I will say goodbye, I think. So hopefully you've enjoyed. If you have, give it a like down below, click on the subscribe button, and of course you can ring the bell for notifications for further episodes. But as always, guys, thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you next time.